people connect through calls, texts, and emails. And behind each conversation is a Twilio API that powers it.
With Twilio's APIs, we can build powerful communication tools with just a few lines of code.
But the power to send messages at scale comes with great responsibility.
In Liftoff Messaging, you'll learn to send messages across SMS and WhatsApp.
With Liftoff Voice, we'll help you build voice applications from simple call centers to full-service contact centers.
Liftoff Email will show you how to create engaging campaigns that land in the inbox.
And in Liftoff User Authentication and Identity, you'll learn how to keep your users' accounts secure.
Each Liftoff video gives you production-ready code examples and real-world applications. Welcome to Twilio Liftoff.
Every day, billions of people connect through calls, texts, and emails. And behind each conversation is a Twilio API.
That wasn't supposed to keep doing that. Look, I got other friends too. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Bianca's here. Alex is here. I'm Chef Brent. Welcome to Twilio Liftoff Voice. Guess what? I'm not Andrew. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not Andrew. But this is Andrew. We do have Andrew here.
I'm here.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going fantastic. How's my audio, guys? Am I good?
Seems good. Seems good.
I'm okay.
We'll have to let chat let us know if it's.
There you go.
Not.
Yeah, chat. Let us know. So we've got the whole crew here today, and
Oh,
your audio is good.
Hello,
but your
welcome.
Connection might just not be.
From Vancouver.
Oh man, if we had a good way to show technical difficulties on screen, that would be perfect. I think at some point in the future, Andrew will recognize that he's about 2 minutes behind.
Yeah,
we're gonna pull him off for a second because that's a little unbearable. How's it going, Alex and Bianca? Is this like a special edition of? This is like a special edition of something. I don't know. Like it's
going
on a Friday.
Is it Tuesday?
I don't know what
No.
this is.
we don't even know what day it is. It's been a week, you guys. So
it has absolutely been something.
we're here.
Yeah, let me throw some music on in the background here too.
There you go.
But we were missing something there. I knew there was something missing.
It just didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right. There wasn't anything going on in the background. So anyways, I would like, we could introduce each other, but like I feel like, you know.
Wait.
What do you want
I
to
want to do it that way. Let's all pick somebody else to introduce.
Pick somebody else to introduce?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alex, go.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna introduce Brent. So
Okay.
on this stream we have joining us the remarkable, the sensational Chef Brent. He's the super producer behind just about every video, but definitely every stream that you see on Twilio Devs and almost every video we have there. Brent has been with Twilio for 11 years. I don't think there's anything I've done for 11 years besides be alive for that long, and a lot more. I'm more than 12 years old. But I'm so excited to bring to the stage the one, the only Chef Brent.
Okay, that's me, and I'll introduce Bianca, and then Bianca can introduce Alex. This only seems fair since they do a show together. So Alex is just a fantastic developer evangelist at
Wait,
Twilio.
you're supposed to introduce Bianca.
Oh wait, I'm supposed to introduce Bianca. Oh my goodness. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. You're getting Friday Brent. You're getting Friday Brent. All right, so I'll introduce Bianca. Bianca is a fantastic developer evangelist at Twilio. Bianca, you may have met Bianca on A/B testing on Tuesday. You may have been in a builder lab with Bianca. You've seen Bianca around. Bianca does so many stuff. Bianca's a big, strong advocate of developers and developer community and all that kind of stuff at Twilio. Bianca's fantastic. Bianca is also, the purveyor of fine snacks and drinks and tells you about them on Tuesday during that fantastic sponsor not sponsored segment. I'm going to throw it to Bianca for a quick introduction to Alex, and then we'll get Andrew back in here whenever the connection is better.
No, that's good. I kind of like this, like, who are these people? Okay, so I have the pleasure of introducing Alex. Alex, let's see. Kind things about Alex. JK. No, so Alex is super awesome. Alex is also a developer evangelist focusing on all, I like to say focusing on startups and all these different verticals. Alex loves to help folks build. Alex is also the co-host on A/B testing. He is the A to the B. Alex also has a great new show, Twilio Update, that is coming. That's coming pretty soon. You've also seen Alex probably on Twilio Builder Labs. Alex is everywhere. Alex is on YouTube, Twitch, and Alex is also here with us today.
That is true, and I think we have Andrew back. And Andrew can, if we got better connection this time, Andrew can go ahead and just like kick us off here. Introduce.
Are we good? Is my audio, is my video, is everything good now?
Your audio's good, your video's good, but it's still on the edge of oblivion.
Don't worry, we're moving further outside, everybody. Vamp for 2 more minutes as I go physically outside, and then we'll be back. And if you're watching this, don't worry, we're getting into it in just a second.
Let's introduce the series. So what is this? We've been doing these on Fridays. This is the first one I've been able to be on in person. But we've been doing these watch parties where we're watching Twilio Liftoff and Learn, which Alex and Bianca are like rock stars on. They're the ones here teaching you all the 101 content that we have for these different products. This week we're watching Twilio Liftoff Voice. Wednesday. Alex and Bianca, like, what do you think about this particular video? This set of, we're doing it a little different today. But like,
we're gonna go with it. I think voice was interesting because it was like, I don't know. I think voice is such a exciting thing right now. It's so funny. I feel like we're doing the watch party in our stream style. I love this for us. We have taken over. Anyways, okay, so I think voice is interesting because voice is like the hot new thing these days, but I think it's just such a exciting place to be building in. So I think, being able to feature voice, being able to highlight voice, there's some cool value there. It's also funny just like rewatching something after you're like, whoa, this was back in October. So I think that's the other aspect too. But what else? I don't know. What else comes to mind? Alex, any thoughts?
I actually think this is a unique one in that voice 6 months to a year ago. So we filmed this in October, right? So that's, 4 months ago now. Voice felt like the kind of most traditional channel, in some ways the least exciting. I'm going to be honest. Like, you do so much, but like you need another person on the line. The way that AI has changed and supercharged this voice discussion in the last even few months, and how we've changed at Twilio, how we're thinking about voice, it's kind of wild to go back and be like, oh, we didn't even know that this would actually be the most exciting one. 6 months ago when we were writing these, we thought this was like, in some ways, the most boring. But it's really great. And seeing this and getting those voice fundamentals down is such a key to enabling that next step of AI with voice, which is just where everyone's going right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got Andrew. Andrew, that is looking much crisper.
So I will say, thank you for putting up with that, chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for my amazing ecosystem, colleagues, friends, for being here and stepping in at the last minute. For those of you who don't know, I'm Andrew, one of the developer educators on the ecosystem team. And the reason that I am not sitting in one of my amazing studios right now is I'm taking advantage of a really great opportunity that Twilio makes possible through Twilio.org, which is our We Pledge program. So every year at Twilio, we get to volunteer for organizations. And I was actually volunteering with this amazing organization called Junior Achievement of BC, recording some awesome kind of like, think like Bill Nye style episodes, but for tech careers. And so this building behind me is very well brick-defied, concrete-ified, and it was definitely not feeling the Wi-Fi signal. So I'm outside now. I'm actually going to kind of do this while wandering, but I also want to kind of introduce you to the concept today. And so big shout out to the team for these recommendations. today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Normally it's just been kind of like me, or last week was me and Alex hanging out in the corner. This week we're actually going to try and have a little bit less stop and start, and we're going to be doing this in terms of the sections that we actually break up these videos into. We've got some prompts that we're going to put out to you that are sort of some things to think about. And then when we get to the end of the section, we're going to pause and have some discussion. But don't worry, you can put all of your comments as they come into chat. There's no reason to kind of stop the engagement. We just want to kind of give an opportunity for folks to think about things, to come up with some questions, and then for us to just like really not like interrupt the video flow too much. I think audio should be good in video. Are we much more consistent now, chat? I'm guessing we are.
You're much more consistent. We do have the beautiful noises of outside, but that's okay.
The glorious outside.
You're great. You're great though. It's much better than where we were when you were like giving us a slideshow that advanced itself one slide.
I thought you had been like Minecraftified.
It was rough for a little bit. Yeah, it was rough.
So I will say, in my bag, I have the spectacular Rode Wireless Pro 2 microphone that I smartly prepped to bring with me, and then forgot every cord that I needed to use. And so this morning I was trying to Instacart a TRS to TRRS cord. Listen, y'all, I put the effort in to try and get our audio, but we made it. We made it here, and y'all, my amazing team, are kind of here making this happen. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to chat so much for being here. And I've always wanted to say this, but I've never had the ability to. DJ Brent, let's roll that tape.
You got it. You got it.
Programmable Voice API. The Twilio Programmable Voice API is an API that you can use to make calls, receive calls, and program voice applications to work the way you want them to. From making your first call with nothing but a few lines of code to adding advanced functionality, Twilio gives developers modular tools you can stack like Lego blocks to build the exact application you had in mind. That might be something as simple as greeting a caller when their call's connected, or it could be something more complex like routing a caller to a particular person based on their history with your business or what they're interested in. With Twilio, the choice is yours. You can control just about everything on the Twilio platform with code. The Twilio platform is highly programmable, so you can build using the programming languages you already know and love. If you're familiar with APIs but haven't used the Communications API before, no worries. We'll get you up and running in no time. If you've used Communications APIs before and are familiar with the ins and outs of telephony, we'll show you how to dial in on your skills to build more powerful applications faster. This Liftoff series is for developers of all experience levels. At the end of this class, you'll feel like you truly leveled up with Twilio. While Twilio has a bunch of different APIs, from email to messaging to user authentication and identity, we're going to focus on the Voice API specifically. The Voice API powers all the calls that go in and out of the Twilio platform. We know making a call can feel a little bit like magic, even to developers. You can grab your phone, hit call, and all of a sudden you're talking to your friend on the other side of the world. But it's not magic. It's something much, much cooler and much more predictable: engineering. In this Liftoff series, Twilio's own experts will teach you how to use the Twilio Programmable Voice API to build popular voice apps, master essential voice API features, and make your existing voice applications more powerful. Over the course of this tutorial, you'll learn foundational concepts like Twilio functions and TWIML. You'll program a Twilio voice application to play audio, say a particular greeting, and gather inputs from your user. You'll also learn how to make browser and mobile-based calls with Twilio Programmable Voice SDKs using WebRTC. And we'll dive into building an IVR with Twilio Studio, extracting data and insights from your calls. Finally, we'll touch on advanced topics like branded calling and building a contact center. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started.
Okay, so that was the entirety of the first segment. I'm just gonna pull that poll back up because come on, even my hosts need to participate. Come on, if I put something on screen, you're supposed to respond in chat with the number that's on the poll. Let me put it back up.
Y'all gotta respond. I mean, I
need a response.
Even yes, come on.
There we
Y'all
go.
have
One.
keyboards.
Yeah.
We got it. There we go.
I'm a big yes on that one. I've definitely built some fun stuff over the course of time with voice.
By the way, if you're watching this as a VOD, like respond in the comments too, because like we do read like literally every comment that ever comes out. We do read, and then think about deeply. So if you're in there, let us know. Let us know. We will respond.
Yeah. So I have a question. Go ahead. Oh, Bianca, go.
I like this. I'm seeing some new additions to this stream.
Tried something different.
I kind of like it.
But yeah, chat. I should have called out earlier. If you see one of these things that pops up, in the bottom right, I've got like 9 of them. If you see them, they got little numbers next to them. You just send a number that you see that corresponds to your answer into chat, and then we can kind of engage with you. And like Bianca says, not yet, but planning to. What are you planning on building, Bianca?
Also, it's giving IVR vibes.
Putting you on the spot. Yeah, it is an IVR. Oh, was that part of the? I'm not gonna divulge whether that was part of my thinking, but
I mean, it's a little smooth. Let's see. What would I create? Let's see.
I mean, Bianca, there's definitely enough content out there that we could clone our voices and have people call in to
that's
talk
true
to
too.
AIS on the
I do. Oh, I know. I do like the whole. I definitely like. I'd probably play around with. It's interesting because there are some companies that are doing things around this, but just even like, kind of calling in, leaving a message, but just kind of how you take that up a notch. So I think cataloging your community by way of voice. Sorry, these grapes are like so delightful. I was like, distractions.
So I love that like we are demonstrating just like all of the liveness that is possible in live streams. We've got somebody on the street, we got somebody eating live. Like, everything.
I think also, it's we are watching we're in the watch party. It's a party. We brought snacks. I brought grapes.
There you go. That's the motivation there.
I have another poll that we can run. And that's, what is your go-to cloud hosting provider for Twilio voice apps? Do you use AWS? Do you use Google Cloud? Do you use Azure? Do you use other?
Yeah, but wait, you're missing something wild here.
I don't know, Brent. I don't know about this.
Missing a few things here. Yeah.
You're missing functions and assets.
Man. I know.
Literally.
I know it's missing. That's other.
Was that by design?
It was by design, 100%. So I will say I may have utilized some forward thinkingness to start some conversations, because Chef Brent said to me, we need to make some prompts to get people thinking. And I was like, what can we get people thinking? I want people to get riled up because Twilio Functions is missing. Also, I'm hoping that somebody here might be like, isn't there a company that starts with a C and ends in Loudflare that's also not on this list?
And yes, there is. Yeah, excellent. Okay, cool.
Also, I did not realize.
Shout out to C Beeful, who's who we're gonna see on screen in a minute, but maybe not live.
C Beeful. Is that the Sarah of the Biffles?
Sarah Biffle.
That is that would appear to be the Sarah of the Biffles. Yes.
The Sarah of the Biffles.
All right.
Representing.
Somebody said in we got a message from YouTube.
Oh, hello.
I need to have a voice app from Twilio connect to my
to your trunk. Okay. So SIP, I believe.
Yeah.
SIP trunking. Yeah. Let's watch the next segment, and I'll pull up a link that we can send over. But yeah, that's a good question about connecting to a SIP trunk. So yeah, we do have some documentation on that. Maybe Sarah can grab it. Sarah's lived in that world a little bit, probably. And let's
is really chipping in today. I gotta say.
Sorry, this is off topic, but when I first read that, I said connected to my truck, and I was like, wait, so you need like Bluetooth
truck
Twilio
connected to the truck?
A little different than what I thought we had going
Excellent.
on. Look at that.
All right. All right, shall
do
we?
you want us? You want us to go back to the? Yeah, this is why we're all. You know how when all the kids are in the class on the day.
Yeah, we gotta. I'm gonna be that classroom person that is like, no, we have to move on.
We gotta go back to the content.
No, we gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving.
Back to the
Oh yeah, I'm
content.
that kid. I'm that kid that sits in the front row. That's like, we're not learning anything. And Bianca's like, I don't want homework. I got you. All right, let's watch this next segment.
The Twilio Programmable Voice API isn't something you can see per se, but it's there and it's ready to be put to work. It powers a ton of different applications that you're probably already familiar with. Odds are you probably interacted with it even if you weren't aware you had. Thousands of developers have built voice applications on Twilio that we rely on in everyday life all the time. Maybe you used an app to order food to your house and use the in-app call feature to check in on the person delivering your food. Have you ever thought about how that works, or if the person you're calling can see your real number? In that example, Twilio sits in the middle of you and the delivery worker, connecting your call, but also ensuring that neither of you see each other's real personal phone numbers. So you can connect easily, but also securely. That's all possible with a little code and the Twilio Programmable Voice API. If you've called your airline through their app without having to remember a 1-800 number yourself, that's likely happening with the help of a stellar developer and a great voice API. When you look under the hood of a programmable voice call, you'll see easily understandable code and a series of building blocks that a developer stacked together to make your experience seamless. This code abstracts away the complexity of something that's pretty complex, a phone call. Let's not shy away from how cool it is that you can press one button and make a phone ring on the other side of the world. But while developers might be great at coding, they might not be as great at developing telecom or telephony infrastructure from the ground up, or figuring out how to make it all controllable with code. That's what Twilio's for. With Twilio, you can control everything about a phone call with code. You can focus on what you're best at, developing. We're going to teach you how to use each building block of the Twilio Voice API to unpack that magical feat of engineering, that is, a call. Let's first start with a very brief and basic primer on how Twilio Voice works before we dive into the tutorial. In this example, we'll imagine that you want Twilio to play a particular song when someone dials a number that you've provided in your app. How would you make that happen? What parts of your app, your code, and Twilio need to talk to each other? When someone calls your Twilio phone number, Twilio will send an HTTP request to your application. Ideally, that's the code you've written, hosted somewhere, like Heroku, Cloudflare, AWS, or another cloud-based server where Twilio can access that code. Your code will then generate an HTTP response that instructs Twilio how to handle the call that just came in. With those instructions in hand, Twilio will then respond as instructed to the call. As an example, it would play a particular song. That's the basic structure of Twilio's Voice API. We write code that instructs Twilio how to interact with the call. And we have a lot of options, a lot of tools, and a lot of control over that response. So let's dive right in and learn how to build with Twilio Voice.
Okay. So we're getting rolling here. I put up another poll. Do you build from scratch? Do you build using templates? Do you do both? Do you do something else? Like, what do you do? I gotta know.
I'm personally, yeah, I want to see what chat's doing, but I'm a big fan for studio. I think I've done it enough that I prefer not to use a template because I can just I know what I'm doing. We've got somebody named Craig Dennis over on YouTube who says 3.
Craig Dennis. What is 3? What is 3?
And we got C Biffle saying 2 plus 1, which is also 3.
Okay, so that's how you can get to 3 is if you're both.
That's the most engineer response
Three's
to a question
both.
like this. That I've
2 plus 1 is 3. Yeah.
I guess I technically both. I just elaborate a little bit because Studio's great. I love building.
Oh my
voice apps in
gosh.
Studio.
I was on mute. I was on mute the whole damn time.
I did
yes.
that last time.
Awkward.
Now you're covered.
Awkward.
Now you're
Oh
seeing another
my
poll.
gosh!
Oh.
Damn.
See, in OBS, I would have moved that poll to the center, and it would have
So
been
maybe if I
fine.
move
But
over
you know,
here, I'm just gonna do it again. Try it again. Let's see. Is it out of
Other way.
frame?
you
Other way.
can't.
Go the other way.
You can't. You gotta move to the center. Yeah, the other direction.
Go
You
the
can go
other
over the top.
You're mirrored
Or I could
Bianca.
go-
Yeah, there you go. Now we got you.
Yeah.
Or I could
There,
go
we're
down-
good.
okay.
We're good. We got it figured
Okay.
out.
Yo, this is chaotic. This is Friday
This is-
version
yeah.
of us.
But
I
it's
don't
chaotic
see.
good. It's chaotic good.
Yeah.
Maybe
Chaotic
this
good.
is why we stream on Tuesdays, because by Friday, this is what you would get from me. I don't know.
I don't know. Friday vibes, Bianca. I'm kind of here for. I actually am like very much feeling this energy.
I'm just like,
Oh.
okay,
dude,
so-
Wait, I want to know where Andrew is, and maybe we need to go send him to like buy a donut or something.
So I will say, like, I literally can, like, I passed a sub shop. I am wandering the University of British Columbia campus in Vancouver because I was just at an office that was here. So I can go many places. I might be able to get a cup of coffee, a donut for all of us. Is this the adventure that we're going to go on? The now every week one of us will have to be here. I'm also, by the way, I'm traveling with a selfie stick around campus, and I'm getting the weirdest looks.
wait, is it attached to you right
No,
now?
no, it's not. I have like it's like a super tall tripod, so it's like on a tripod right now.
Oh
But
my
everybody-
gosh,
Yeah, I'm that
Andrew,
guy.
I really thought you had like a waist selfie stick. Like I thought you had a selfie stick around your waist that was like, okay, great. Anyways, so y'all, what were some of our takeaways from this last section? I'll start, class. So-
Okay, Bianca.
Bringing it back.
okay. So one thing I think one thing that was actually interesting was even this aspect of like Twilio making it simple. I think going back into this aspect of like, who the hell wants to, well, actually, no, everyone wants to learn about voice and the infrastructure behind it. But seriously, I think the ability to kind of focus on all the other parts of building rather than just kind of thinking about like, how does the infrastructure behind all of this work? I think that's such an underrated aspect of kind of what some of the tools are able to provide. So even that ability to like focus on the build rather than like, how is the build coming to life? So that's one thing that kind of came to mind.
I think the abstraction is the key. Like you don't like you can think about the actual customer experience. You don't have to think about, oh, I need to like get a phone. I was even thinking the other day, like, what would you need to do if you didn't want to use like Twilio or a service like Twilio to do the things that you could do? You would
We don't
literally
even
need
need
to go
to think
buy
about
space in a
it.
data center and make a cross connect and have an individual contract with the carrier to get on their network to send a message. Or
It
make a
used to be.
Sounds chaotic.
Yeah.
Very chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, y'all don't even want to know how many people work at Twilio that just deal with carriers. That's all they do. Like, and think about it. Can I think of any people? Have you ever called your wireless provider? Have you ever called your wireless carrier and had a conversation with them when you needed something? Like, that's not a job that I would want to do. That's not a job that you want to do. We have people that do that. They do that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Like, that's lovely. That's just lovely.
It is.
Mm-hmm,
Wait, I and having worked in data centers, there's a lot going on there, and not
Yes.
having to deal with that is kind of nice.
So
I think I picked a spot that I want to send Andrew to since he's moving.
so I am going to Tim Hortons to get a donut now.
So
Actually,
if you go to Tim Hortons, I found a local one. There's a place called Dough Girls Comfort Kitchen.
Ooh, depends on where I am in
It's
comparison. to
across
that.
16th. I don't know where you are.
I have no idea where I am either. So in fairness,
I'll drop you the link.
This feels like
Slack.
two streams in one.
It does,
You know
it
how
does.
you know how when they
if
have
we're
like
gonna be chaotic, let's be chaotic. Come
you
on.
know how when they have like it's like how when they have the show within a show.
Mm-hmm.
I
This is
love when that
It's a sub.
oh.
It's a sub. We got a subplot going on.
Is
We've
yeah,
got a whole
Andrew's
subplot
got
going on.
Andrew's itchy and scratchy right now.
Let's roll the next beautiful bean footage. Not sponsored, and then we'll see where the chaotic adventure has continued to. I want y'all to be thinking about a few things as we move forward, though. Please let me know in chat. What is the most interesting Twilio Voice app you've seen out in the wild? Like, just drop that in chat while you're watching the next part. And let's watch the next segment.
Twilio's Voice API lets you make, receive, and direct calls. We're going to start off by building the first part of that experience, learning how to receive a call and program a response from Twilio. Our goal here is to program a Twilio number that will receive our call and say a message, play a bit of audio, or gather users' input. To do that, we're going to use webhooks. A webhook is essentially an HTTP callback. So when some event happens, like a call coming in to our Twilio number, Twilio will look for instructions from a URL that you specify. That URL should return TWIML, the instructions that tell Twilio what to do when the call comes in. In this case, as we mentioned, we'll tell Twilio to say a particular greeting. Before we start building, let's talk about what we need in our toolbox. You need a Twilio account, and you should have your Twilio account SID and Twilio auth token within arm's reach. Your account SID and auth tokens are essentially the keys to your Twilio account. Keep them safe. Once you have your account set up, you need to purchase a Twilio phone number. If you need some help registering a phone number or want to make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's when it comes to compliance, you can check out all of our up-to-date guidelines for registering your phone numbers right here. To start, set the name and the path to the left. We'll name this Say Hello. Now it's time to replace this sample code with real code. We want to tell Twilio to say hello world to our caller when they dial our number. So we'll use this following code to do so. This code will tell Twilio how to handle a call we receive. As you'll see in the code, we're using TWIML, a language based on XML that instructs Twilio what to do within this code block. That say tag tells Twilio what to say to the user on the call. In this case, we'll say hello world. Now we've got a function that's ready to run. So let's hit save and deploy. A quick note about this function and some best practices when you're using functions. You don't exactly want to leave your code out there on a publicly accessible URL for anyone to run. So if you're accessing Twilio's API using any service outside of Twilio, even Terminal, we highly encourage you to use an Twilio signature header. It's essentially a unique key that Twilio will look for when your function is executed. If the key's there, it will run. If the key's not there, it won't run. This helps secure your function by adding another level of verification that you're in control of. For our purposes, we're not using an Twilio signature header. If you'd like to learn more about the best privacy practices for public and private functions, we've included a few links in the description of this video. Awesome. Our code looks good, so we'll save this function and get our phone number configured. With our functions deployed, we'll go back to our Twilio console and navigate to phone numbers in the menu on the left-hand side of our screen. Next, we'll select the phone number that we purchased. We'll go to the phone number settings, and in the drop-down menu below, we'll make sure we're accepting voice calls we've configured with webhooks, TWIML bins, functions, studio, or proxy. And we'll say when a call comes in, Twilio should use a function. Then we can select the service we just created, Hello World, the environment is UI, and the function is Say Hello. Let's hit save, and we're ready to test our new number. So I'm going to call our number, and when it rings, I should hear the greeting we set, Hello World. Let's dial the number and find out.
Hello world.
Awesome, our code worked. Now, let's see if we can take this one step further. Let's say we're so excited about this new Twilio app we just built that we want to share our Hello World greeting with a friend. We'll dive back into functions, create a new function and name it Call Forward. We'll use the following code. Also, we'll need to pass the number we want to forward the call to in our functions. Hit save and deploy, head back into your console and select the new function, Call Forward. Now, when we call our Hello World number, Twilio will forward our call to the second number we provided within the new number argument, so they can hear these beautiful two words, Hello World. These two words are a developer's best friend. They mark the start of a journey with a new application, language, or API you're mastering. In this case, we're on a journey with Twilio that's just getting started. Twilio has so many helpful frameworks, features, channels, and APIs we can stack together to build wonderful customer experiences. The same idea we use to tell a phone number how to greet us, We can use the telephone number to send us a text, send a picture, respond with a WhatsApp message, and more. And Twilio's Voice API works where you do. With Twilio's Voice SDK, you can make, receive, and program calls in the browser. With Twilio's WebRTC integrations, you can build communications into any web-based application and completely customize the experience to your liking. Twilio's platform is built on top of WebRTC, so developers have all the control they need when they're building. Twilio gives developers the tools they need to build exactly what they want. And you only pay for what you use on Twilio. You can find out more details on Twilio's voice pricing in the description of this video. Great, now we've done the hard part of setting up our system to receive calls. Let's take a few lines of code and we'll show you how to make an outbound call. Open your text editor and create a file called makecall.js. Then we'll add in the following code. You can find this code at twilio.com/docs/voice/quickstart. Don't forget your Twilio account SID and auth token, which we are passing as environment variables. Set the from number as our Twilio number, and I'll make a call to my personal number. You'll need to set the URL to something that returns TWIML. In this case, we'll use this Twilio demo URL. Save the file, and then we'll run it from the command line. And look, my phone is ringing.
Thanks for trying our documentation. Enjoy.
Of course, the Rickroll. You got to get
If
the
there
Rickroll.
wasn't a
out there.
Rickroll, would this be a Twilio video?
Okay, but
so
you gotta pull
I
up
asked
that
a very
question.
important.
Oh.
I asked a very, 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 very important question here. Which laptop sticker do you like on Alex's laptop here? Got to answer that one first.
You know,
I'm still team avocado with Bianca there. The pizza's pretty good too. It's a little. It's
I
a little
will
off.
I
say
can tell you
we-
which one's my favorite, but
I would be so
we can guess.
surprised.
It's the Wilco sticker.
I really like the Wilco Rainbow.
Of course.
I also
like
have
we
one
all
from
knew
my-
that.
You have more than the Wilco rate. Like you have Wilco buttons. You have
this is
Wilco
from my old laptop,
posters.
which I had to get rid of, but I got rid of, but I saved the sticker. I got to figure out how to put it on. This is actually my favorite Wilco sticker. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's
Is it a hamburger? It's
No,
a
Oh
burger.
yeah. Hold on. I got you. Not that. This one. Ah.
Oh,
I
it's
like
a
that.
hot dog.
Yeah.
No, it's a hamburger.
No,
It's a hot dog. It's a Chicago
It's a
dog.
Chicago thing,
Which-
and it's got mustard on it.
Okay. People ask if hot dogs are sandwiches. I got a better question. Is a Chicago hot dog a salad? Because yes,
Yeah.
the answer is yes. It is absolutely a salad.
It's like a yeah.
Did I see tomato? But I saw tomato on
proper
that.
Tomato
Chicago- Would
and-
you like me to detail a proper Chicago hot dog for you? You wanna
tomato
go
and
there?
sport pepper
Sport
and
peppers,
pickles.
a pickle, celery salt, relish, onions, mustard, and there's only one thing that you absolutely cannot put on a Chicago hot dog. That's ketchup.
Chicago hot dog is a salad. Just look it up. It's a salad. It's not a hot dog. It's
Interesting.
not a sandwich.
So,
It's-
you know, I feel like we're bringing to life a true watch party because, you know, you'd probably be on your computer and you're like watching and then you're building. And then maybe you go on Instagram. Maybe you might go on TikTok. And then you're like, wow, the ramble. And then you're like, wow, let me get back to this damn video. Like, let me just get back to the video because, you know, all
yeah,
the-
I have a poll. I have to pull up a specific part of this video though. Let's go back.
Okay.
Let's go back.
Is
We
the
can
poll?
go-
Did you know that it was gonna rickroll?
No, the
Oh.
poll is which is going to cover Alex here is which is the best type of bracket and code? Curly boys, pointy boys, square boys, or round boys? Drop the number in chat for your favorite bracket. Uh, I don't know. It seemed appropriate.
You're a very unserious character.
It's not me. These are Andrew. These are all Andrew. I just
Don't
made the
blame-
Oh,
visuals.
Andrew, you created this? You're
Oh, yeah,
behind
I
this?
made the
I
visuals.
am. Absolutely.
But Andrew
Wow.
created the Andrew created the polls.
rationale for mine. If you guys
You
want
have rationale?
mine.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Curly boys are fun to draw by hand once you get the hang of it.
Okay, that's
And I just can remember
That's fair.
drawing them as a child and really enjoying it. If you can draw a good curly boy, it's fun.
okay.
So-
I'm.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bianca.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm split between 2 and 3 for pointy and square. Pointy because I've written a lot of markup in my day, and you're like, wow, Brent, I didn't know you were such a HTML programmer. No, I'm not talking about HTML. I'm talking about Adobe Flex, if anyone remembers that back in the day. I'm talking about WPF and Silverlight from my Microsoft days. I wasn't talking about HTML. No, I'm not. I'm not the world's greatest web programmer, but I've done a lot of desktop work, and there's a lot of angle brackets, little pointy boys in XML. So yeah, in markup. So
Speaking of desktop stuff, did y'all know that Brent wrote a book? I discovered this recently. Chat, did you know that Brent wrote a book?
No.
did.
Now
It was
I
a
gotta
while.
find this book.
yeah,
just gotta Google.
it's not hard to
So-
find.
It's not. I found
Is
it
it
in
written
one.
by Brent Schooley or Chef Brent?
It predates Chef Brent by 10 years probably. Not really, 5 years probably. Ah, boy. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the thing I did.
I don't
This is
know. I don't
Megan.
know. I don't know how I feel about this. Like,
Yeah, actual
we-
published author. Yes, it's true.
So I do
But
want
you
to say, going back to the poll, there is a
Yeah.
shirt that exists out there. I don't know where he got it, but Jason Langsdorff has this on a shirt, and it's just like curly boys,
Ah.
pointy boys, square boys, and round boys. I want to know where he got it, but I have no idea
Yeah.
where he did.
Interesting. All right. I'm cognizant of time. We're gonna go over. It's fine. But let's watch the next. Let's watch the next bit. Let's keep rolling. Boom.
Well, let's say we want to take things a little bit further and make our Twilio app do even more than say, hello world. But we still want to share the excitement, the fun, and the thrills of that hello world moment. We want options. Lucky for us, Twilio Studio has them. Twilio Studio is a visual builder, letting you use a ton of Twilio capabilities with just a few clicks. It's a low-code option that packs some punch. But don't worry, you can still build everything we're about to run through with code using our APIs, from scratch, as they like to say. All right, so what does Twilio Studio actually do? Instead of writing the TWIML ourselves or making sure that we close all of our brackets when writing say or play, we can control these functions by dragging and dropping widgets into a flow, corresponding with the action that we want to happen. We have the freedom we need to build the experience we want for our user, whether we're creating a voice, messaging, or communications app. Twilio Studio lets you build dynamic flows, performing different functions based on the user's behavior. Think of it as a way to craft a choose-your-own-adventure style flow for users. You want to connect with voice? You got it. Prefer chatting over text? We can help you there too. Instead of just reading hello world to a caller, we can build out robust, helpful flows that can actually give and receive context beyond a fun greeting. If you don't know where to get started, Twilio Studio offers pre-built templates for popular use cases like customer service IVR, appointment reminder flows, or surveys. All right, let's dive in and start from the beginning. We're going to build an IVR flow for Owl Air. Here's what we'll be setting up. When a customer calls our Twilio number, they'll be greeted with a menu offering 3 options for their Owl Air experience. Option 1, we'll send the caller a text message with updates about their upcoming flight using the SMS channel. Option 2, this one will read out their flight confirmation right over the phone. And finally, option 3, for more personalized help, this option will connect them directly to Owl Air support using a Twilio phone number and tested with a Twilio Dev phone. Our goal is to build an app with Twilio Studio that lets Owl Air customers choose from these options by pressing a button. The fancy term for those buttons a caller presses is DTMF, short for Dual Tone Multi-Frequency Inputs. 3 options, 1 flow, endless possibilities with Twilio Studio. Let's get building. Using Twilio Studio, we could pick up a pre-built template that's already designed to fit our use case, for example, like sending appointment reminders. Or we could start from a blank slate and see the whole process. Today, we're going to start from scratch, but feel free to experiment with pre-built templates. Let's dive back into our console and use the menu on the left-hand side of our screen to navigate to Twilio Studio. We'll click Create a New Flow. At the top of our Twilio Studio screen, you'll see a box labeled Trigger. This is where we choose the event that will start the flow we're building. You can think of a trigger as the action Twilio listens for to launch our Studio flow. We can set up different flows based on how the user chooses to contact us, whether they send a text, make a call, or start a conversation on WhatsApp. We can also trigger Twilio Studio events through a request from our app's REST API, allowing us to start a flow directly when a user takes an action, for example, clicks a contact support button in our app, and that will send a request to Twilio to kick off the Studio flow. This is all to say, we have options and flexibility. For our setup, we'll use incoming call as our trigger. To start, we'll select an action to be triggered by said incoming call. On the right side of our screen, we'll see the widget library. This acts as a toolbox of ready-made functions that we can use by simply dragging and dropping a widget into our flow. This is where Twilio Studio really shines. These widgets save us from having to write out TWIML ourselves. They're like pre-built blocks of code, making it easy to create functionality without the extra steps and brain power involved with coding from scratch. We can search the widget library for the right TWIML widget, whether it's for voice, SMS, or something more programmatic like running a Twilio function or making an HTTP call. The widgets available to us give us control over each step of the user's journey through their Studio flow. By dragging widgets around and connecting their transitions, the lines that tie the widgets together, we can build exactly the Studio app that we envision. Let's start by finding a widget called Gather under the Voice section. This widget will let us greet our caller, present the three options we laid out, and gather their selection. Drag the Gather widget into the flow. Then link it to the incoming call trigger by connecting the red dot beside the incoming call trigger at the top of the screen to the gray dot beside the Gather widget. This tells Twilio Studio how to transition from one widget to the next, creating a chain of options we want to present the user, and that will change based on the logic programmed and informed by their actions. Now, click into the Gather widget, and under the Say parameter, let's enter a message for Twilio to read to our caller. This message should clearly introduce the three options available to them. Welcome to Owl Air, where your journey takes flight. Press 1 to get a text confirming your flight information. Press 2 to hear your flight information, and press 3 to speak with a customer service representative who can assist you further. After entering our text for the Twilio Say, we'll rename this widget to Greet and Gather. Then we'll hit Save. Sweet! We've got the first part of our flow. Sure, it's just the first step, but it's an important one. We know how we'll greet our caller. Now we need to figure out how to process their selection when they decide between receiving flight confirmations or needing to speak to our customer support. Before we continue to set up the flow and connect with the caller, let's say that Owl Air wants to monitor the quality. If a caller reaches out when we're unavailable to monitor in real time, we'd like to record the call to review later. We can set this up easily with a Twilio Studio widget. However, there's a crucial point to keep in mind. We must follow local laws regarding call recording and clearly inform the caller that the call is being recorded. So, before adding our call recording widget, let's update the message in our Greet and Gather widget to include this notification. We'll add another paragraph that says, by the way, we're recording this call, just to make sure we're living up to the Owl Air quality standards. Let's go ahead and hit Save. With that done, we're ready to add our call recording widget after the Greet and Gather widget. Head over to the widget library and find Call Recording under the Voice section. Drag it beneath the Greet and Gather widget, then connect the transition from Greet and Gather to Call Recording. Now double-click the widget and name it Record Call. Click the button that says Stop Recording to switch it to Start Recording, and then there's a series of options that will appear. Here is where we can add our recording status callback URL, choose to record both channels, ours and the caller's, and more. Once that's set, Click Save, and let's move on to building the next few widgets to connect our caller to text confirmation, voice confirmation, and support. For our messaging widget, let's head to the widget library and search for the Send Message widget. We'll drag this onto our Studio Flow editor, but we won't connect it to our flow just yet. We're going to keep this widget and the other widgets that will power our different Owl Air experience options on the side for the time being. Our time to connect everything together will come soon enough. So, once Send Message widget is in place, let's dive into the Message field and write, "Your upcoming flight is scheduled for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. from JFK to LAX." In a real application, we'd pull real-time flight data information from a database using the HTTP widget. But for our sample app today, this setup works perfectly. Let's name this first widget Message Confirmation and save it. Great. 1 down, 2 to go. Next, head back over to our widget library and find the Say widget. Within this widget, you'll see a Text to Say field where we'll write the text that we want spoken aloud. We already know what that is, so we'll just reuse our confirmation text. Your upcoming flight is scheduled for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. from JFK to LAX, and we'll name this widget Say Confirmation. Set the language to English and choose a voice. Then we'll save. 2 down, 1 to go. For our third and final widget, we'll go back to the widget library once more and select the Connect Call widget. This widget will route the caller to our customer support line by connecting them to our Twilio number. This is a major milestone. We've set up all of the parts that we needed to get our IVR running without having to write any code. Twilio's modular tools make it easy for us to build the exact workflow we envision. Twilio Studio has a ton of infrastructure and functionality that's ready to go with just a few clicks. So you can spend more time building and less time getting ready to build. Now, with these 3 widgets set up to match each of our caller's options, our next steps are to build the logic that recognizes the caller's selection and delivers the right response. Let's keep building. Let's take a closer look at our Greet and Gather widget. It's already working well, but we can make a few adjustments to make it even better. We've given the caller a list of options, but now we need a way to detect which one is the one they choose and handle their selection. To do this, we'll set up our Gather widget to respond based on a user input. First, we'll tell Twilio what to listen for. Then we'll define what action to take based on the input. We'll configure the Gather widget to recognize which number the caller presses for text confirmation, voice confirmation, or support, and direct them accordingly using the Split Based on Input widget. Drag the Split Based on Input widget below the Greet and Gather widget and link them by connecting the dot on the Greet and Gather to the dot on the Split Based on Input. Next, in the bottom right corner of the Split Based on Input widget, click New. This will allow us to create routes for each option. Select the Greet and Gather .digits dropdown to indicate which input we're looking for. Now we'll define the conditions for each selection. Each condition matches route represents a path Twilio will follow based on the caller's choice. Since we have 3 options, we'll set up 3 condition matches routes. In the Split Based on Input widget, go to the Transitions tab and set the condition. The first route. For callers who press 1, set the If Value Equals field to 1 and choose our Message Confirmation widget from the dropdown to send the text confirmation. 1 down, 2 to go. The second route. Click the new condition and set the If Value Equals field to 2. Choose the Say Confirmation widget so callers who press 2 will hear their flight details. 1 more to go. The third route. Set 1 more condition so that if the caller presses 3, they'll be connected to support. And that's it. We've got 3 great options for the caller and 1 powerful app built entirely in Twilio Studio. Our application is done, and now we're ready to test it.
But wait, there's more.
We're going to use our Twilio number and then test it using the dev phone. The Twilio dev phone makes it easier for you to test your Twilio apps when you don't have access to SMS or calling capabilities. Basically, if you don't have access to a cell phone. You can test your application using.
Okay, I'm gonna break the rule for a second. I'm gonna pause it because did anybody see Alex's phone ring earlier in here and thought, what is that? That's not a phone, that's a thing. That was the dev phone. That's what Sarah's talking about. Now I'm gonna go right back
It's
to
the
it.
Twilio
dev phone.
It uses existing Twilio products to send and receive calls and SMS from your local development environment. There's a great post about the Twilio dev phone in the Twilio docs. To get the dev phone working, first we want to install the Twilio CLI. If you're on a Mac, the suggested way is to install Homebrew, which is a package manager. On a Mac, once you have Homebrew installed, you can quickly install the Twilio CLI using these commands. Brew tap Twilio /brew & brew install Twilio.
That's a
If you're
mouthful.
on Windows, you can install the Twilio CLI using Scoop. Once it's installed, you can run the Twilio dev phone with the following command. You'll see some output that looks like what you see now, and the terminal will launch a local web server with a working test phone number. Now, let's test our app with the dev phone environment.
Bye, Sarah.
Welcome to Al Air, where your journey takes flight. Press 1 to get a text confirming your flight information. Press 2 to hear your flight information. Press 3 to speak with a customer service representative who can assist you further. By the way, we're recording this call just to make sure we're living up to Al Air's quality standards.
I don't know why, but that just seemed like
Your upcoming
intense.
flight is scheduled for
It's me every
tomorrow
time.
at 2:30 p.m. from JFK to LAX.
Great work. It sounds like we're ready to connect our Owl Air application to a database and start supporting more passengers.
It does sound like that. That section was probably longer than a section needed to be for during a watch party. So that's a note for us for next time. Is
Good
like,
to know.
there's
Cut it out.
probably some logical places to have cut that into like 3 maybe, but you know.
We were focused. We were in
vibing.
it. Okay,
Yeah,
we
we
were
were-
like,
We
were
sang
in
a
there.
dev phone song.
We learned a lot about Studio there, you know. This
Yeah.
is, you know, this is good
I
stuff.
love Studio.
Studio is awesome.
It's so
Where's-
great.
Where's a good
It's just
spot where
like-
we've built something up? You just got all these widgets. You're just dragging them in there and connecting them up. It's awesome. It's really great. It's great for folks always have the question like, I'm not a developer. I probably can't do that. And that's what this is there for, because you don't need to be.
Even if you are a developer,
Yeah.
you can use whenever I'm building something, I use Studio as my state machine. So essentially, if I want the person to go through a more complex thing where I need to like remember what they've done or where they're at, I try to use Studio to do that instead of having to write that on my own, because it's not trivial.
So looking back at the poll that I threw up here earlier, y'all were
we had words.
basically
We
Well,
had
you
words.
didn't give another.
It's true. It's true.
I
It's
knew
true.
something. was
Who
up.
who's
no
responsible
other,
for this
yeah.
poll?
There,
Is it you, Andrew?
Yeah,
It's all me. You can blame me for all
I
of
read
this.
them.
you're
I
Andrew,
read
you're a
them. I
poll-
made.
Andrew.
I read them. I made a few
Eh.
changes in some places. This wasn't one of them. So that's
Wow.
that's me.
Andrew-
Actually, hold on. Before we like bury Andrew on this one, let me look at the
Look
original.
at Barry and
Andrew,
Andrew.
that's it,
I
you're
was
done.
asking.
I,
I was-
will
I
say,
was-
This
I went
is
to
one
buy
of the-
y'all donuts. went
I
to
was
buy
Yeah.
y'all
saying Andrew's name multiple times because I was confused that Andrew has 2 glasses.
I'm-
Yeah, that was my
I'm
question.
gonna be honest with you. I did modify this one. The original options for this one were write my own TWIML, mostly use widgets, or a bit of both. You can see I added the helper library, which if you're talking about functions, I have bad news for you. That's the helper library.
That's true.
so don't
Yeah,
get on
Alex.
me. I added an option for you in this poll. You're using the helper
I
library
wasn't
in
paying
functions.
enough attention to recognize that, because when I think of the helper library, I think of like the like JavaScript SDK stuff. which
Yeah,
is
no,
built
no.
into
The helper-
functions.
Yeah, that's the JavaScript helper library.
Fine, Brent.
All right, Brent. Okay, trying to evade accountability.
I was
Whatever.
like, as
I
was-
am I over a decade at Twilio? I can
I
tell
bailed-
you.
Literally,
I bailed out Andrew by adding an option to this poll, and y'all still came at me.
Dang. bailed
Brent, we
out
just-
Andrew. You know
we
what?
just-
I'm glad I ate your donuts. I ate it as slow as I could. I was saving some for you, but I just ate them all
Brett,
in like
we're
2
just
seconds.
mad. We want to be mad. We want-
Y'all are so mad. Y'all are so mad. So mad. I love it
The
though. I
anger.
love it though. I got a question. I got another one of these things. So we've been talking about voice. I'm kind of curious how folks feel about this particular thing. And there's a mix of everything in here. So that is like the catch-all other kind of thing. But do you like phone trees, like call menus, IVR, that kind of thing? Do you do like, are you trying to do direct bot kind of stuff with AI? Are you doing human agents only, which is really expensive these days, with other options, or are you doing a mix of everything? How about folks on the call?
I have found like, oh man. Okay, so I love how Delta does it. So Delta Airlines will #not sponsored. So
Cheers.
I like that they will pull out all your information, but then they'll kind of they do a mix of both, but they're pulling the data and the information while they're kind of engaging with voice. So I do like sometimes can you confirm this? Can you confirm this information? Do you need to escalate to a voice, a human? So I do like voice as a tool to kind of prime the conversation, just to kind of check in what's happening, align the data. So yeah, that's what I've kind of seen. So
There you
I
go.
maybe it is a mix of everything.
Yeah, that's a mix.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll go next, Andrew, unless you want to.
No, go ahead, Alex.
So here's my problem with IVRs in a lot of cases. Typically, if it's something I could solve with an IVR, I've already solved it with the app. Like airlines are a great example. Like if it's something that can like truly be solved with the IVR, I've already done it in my like United app. Right. So it's not like the IVR just doesn't feel helpful. I think there's a time and a place for them, like getting to the right department or things like that. But I'm really excited for the future where you can do a lot more with the direct bot conversations and you're not just like trying to say the word over and over again and them being like, I didn't quite get that. Can you try again? It's just, I've already seen it get a lot better and it's only going to get better. So I'm super excited about the future of direct bot conversations because I want to talk to an agent.
Yeah.
Okay,
Otherwise, I
Andrew
wouldn't.
first, and then I have a comment to your thing, Alex.
All that I was going to say is that I have started talking with ChatGPT just like on the street, just because it's such a soothing experience. They always tell me that I'm right. I want that same experience in all of my customer service interactions, just like that awesome bot that makes me feel like I know exactly what I'm talking about, and then directs me to go online, which is ultimately what it's going to do anyways.
Andrew, you're totally right about that.
I think the thing, I know we're almost at time. We're way past time.
Fine, we're past time. We're good.
But
we're
the
good.
thing that comes up when you're talking though, Alex, I do think it depends on industry because I have found that like sometimes like particularly in health, like the healthcare things, their apps are not as great. So you do kind of have to rely on a lot of times their IVR system. So I think industry specific. There's also that aspect of just like sometimes I do like maybe the phone tree. Sometimes I don't like dealing with a human in those cases. So I do think it just kind of depends on like industry, but you do introduce important perspective.
I think my thing here is I really appreciate it when I call a company. I don't care whether I'm being greeted by an IVR, whether I'm being greeted by a person or I'm being greeted by an automated bot. When I call a company and they know who I am already, and above and beyond that, let's say it's the airline situation or whatever, or maybe it's customer service and I call, they know who I am. They ask me what I'm calling about, or maybe the first flow is like, oh, hi Brent, blah 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 blah, are you calling about a purchase that you made on blah 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 date? And like most likely in a lot of scenarios I'm calling about the thing that I did most recently with you, and that's what I want. I want that contextual conversation that this technology powers, right? You should be able to know more about me. Let's not start with, can you punch in the last 4 of your social? Can you confirm that you lived at blah blah blah? Am I talking to blah? Like, don't give me all that. Tell me the total from the last purchase that you made with this card. You know.
Data.
Called from this number. Yeah. So anyways, that for me, that's the big thing. It's like use the data. Use the data. Use segment. Yeah, sure. Use the data. Use the data.
It's
That's
all
my big
about
thing.
The data.
That's my big
Guys, and well, folks, I don't know. Folks, I don't know how y'all will identify. Anyways,
guys, gals, and non-binary pals is probably my favorite teacher saying to anybody.
Okay.
It's like peak.
Okay,
Folks
all
always
right.
works.
I got one for you, Bianca. Y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I'm gonna be honest. I
Y'all.
used to be anti y'all, and now it's the most inclusive one. That's easy.
It's pretty good.
Sometimes I'll be like peeps. I call everyone peeps. Peeps.
And
is
if you
just,
want to be
but then you're
formal about
discriminating
it,
against people who aren't little marshmallow people.
if you want to be formal about it, Bianca, you can say you all.
you all.
Put on the tie and say you all.
You are correct, Alex. Everyone is not a little yellow duck. So
I am, but everyone's not.
Speak
I'm
for
just saying.
yourself.
that is true.
Now you're discriminated against blue peeps, pink peeps, purple peeps.
Wow.
Come on.
Okay, that was not the intention. Also, why is this stream so chaotic? Why are we like not?
It's Friday. You got 4 of us. We
are mildly unhinged today. I have never seen anything like this.
In the best way. This VOD is going to go viral. This is the VOD that goes viral. Specifically, the comment, I feel like it might be, specifically the peeps comment. I feel like if we could add peeps in that one, I feel like it might go well.
What have I done? At least we don't get full quality recordings of everybody that's on the call, and I can't just download this and do whatever I want with them. It's a good thing that's not the case. Whew.
Very exciting stuff. So for our viewers that are watching said watch party, please I feel like they can let us know what they build. Definitely join us on Discord, and tell us what you're building. What did you like about this? What is it? What did you like about the series, particularly voice? What are you curious about? What questions you have?
Are you telling our viewers to leave before we're done? We have one more segment.
Oh,
you have to bring us home. You have to bring us home. Bianca, you're our outro person, but you're supposed to do it in video form before we get there.
Golly
Recorded
gee.
this outro.
Wow.
This is you.
I'm in competition with my recorded
You're in
self.
competition with yourself.
You know what's so what? I was like, wow, did I? Man.
If Bianca could tell anything to her past self, it's get off the screen.
Basically.
Here.
All right, I guess.
What I've heard in the structure of this video is that Bianca wants to, after saying blah 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 in chat, Bianca wants to say more words before this video is over. So let's let Bianca say more words.
Over to you, Bianca. We're gonna need a montage for this one. Imagine thousands and thousands of developers all using Twilio to develop voice applications. The calls have been racking up year after year, call after call. So somewhere along the way, we thought, hey, why don't we build a service center? So we spruce up our phone lines even more. Now in this newly imagined reality of Owl Air, we have a ton of call recordings, call data, customer records, and more. How do we make the most of it? Well, for starters, we can use Twilio Flex, Twilio's customizable contact center suite to manage the calls coming in. Twilio Flex can give the agents working for us critical contextual data about our caller, where they need it so they can do a better job on the call and offer a more personalized experience to a caller. For example, when Alex calls our service line, Twilio Flex could pull up critical customer data to show the agent that Alex has a strong preference for window seats on overnight flights. The agent can see that because Twilio Flex could pop up key data about Alex's travel history with Owl Air, showing that whenever he books a flight, he specifically requests a window seat on the left side of the aircraft and has frequently taken red-eye routes between San Francisco and Tokyo. That's just the start with Twilio Flex. It's a modular, programmable contact center solution that you can mold to your needs. Let's say you wanted to see if there are more passengers like Alex who prefer overnight flights. We can use Twilio's voice intelligence and search for phrases like red eye or overnight within our call recordings. Twilio's transcription engine and voice intelligence can make all our calls searchable. Or if we wanted to understand passenger satisfaction with our overnight routes, we can use Twilio's voice insights tools to run sentiment analysis on calls to see in clear data how our passengers feel about their flight experiences. Maybe Owl Air might create a special loyalty program for frequent overnight flyers if they knew there was a high demand for these routes. This is just the beginning of your journey with Twilio. After diving into Twilio Voice, you can stack, connect, build, and modify so many modular blocks of code and tie different Twilio APIs together to build the exact app you had in mind. We're so happy that you've taken this journey with us, and we can't wait to see what you build next.
Whoa.
Sorry, I just
No,
felt
it's all
like that was
good.
needed there.
It's all good. Let's go back. Let's go back here. And let's get Andrew back in here as well.
Here.
Yeah, Bianca. It's like you in your past self read my mind about that contextual calling thing and all the data and like hooking everything up. You didn't even remember that you said that stuff and that we still needed to play it, but you said it.
But I think it goes into like even just like the natural progression, right? Of just okay, but the data, you know, like I think it's, to me, it's even just like the way it all flows. So the fact that like I totally forgot I recorded that, and still it was just like, oh, the next part of that conversation, how do you take that up a notch? Data. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one thing that I caught in there while we were watching that, and it was like, let's see if there's any other callers like Alex. I got news for you. There's no one else like Alex. Never gonna find it. Sorry, Alex is one of a kind.
That
you
is
guys didn't know I had an
very
identical brother, did you?
I don't know if I could do two Alex.
I don't.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being a lie.
I'm just like, just one Alex. We can do it with one Alex.
All right, chat. Was this fun? It was unhinged. I don't know. Like, was it fun? Let us know either now or when you're watching this back and going, who are these people?
Okay, future people, you have just witnessed the Fridays. And the Fridays happened when we have been working on all the adventures of Twilio-ness, and we have a case of the Fridays. It's not the Mondays, it's the Fridays. So this is what happens. You get a little loopy, you start dancing on stream, and maybe your glasses are at the tip of your nose, or maybe you have two glasses, or I don't know. But anyways, future people, you're witnessing a case of the Fridays. Hopefully you enjoyed this stream though.
And if you did, sorry, Bianca.
Go!
I was gonna say, if you did enjoy this, don't worry, because there is gonna be another opportunity for all of us, and we may even add an S-Biffle, because in March, once all of these streams have gone live, once all these videos have gone live, we are gonna be doing a 2-hour watch party. We're gonna be giving away swag. We're gonna be debuting some stuff. It's gonna be amazing. We're all going to be here, and it's going to be depends. If you enjoyed the Unhinged, we'll go Unhinged. If you want us a little bit more professional,
we'll ask people to set our temperature.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place. But we will
set our temperature. Is that what you said? Like an AI model? They're gonna put it on like 0.8
Alex is not
or something?
helping us. Alex is not helping us beat the AI allegations. Like literally, like set the temperature of these folks. Come on.
I'm scared.
Andrew,
I'm scared of what max temperature looks like.
Oh my gosh. So Andrew, we have a watchathon, which we are watching all of the we're just watching. Yes, we're watching videos on a watchathon. There will be prizes, there will be people, there will be Twilio.
There's gonna be stuff. It'll be a lot of stuff. It's gonna be fantastic.
Okay.
If you couldn't handle an hour of us, how are you going to handle at least 2 hours of us, though? That's the real question.
I mean, we do it. They do it on Tuesday, so they can handle. We almost got to 2 hours today. We could do anything. You could do anything you put your heart and mind to. I'm going to mute myself because I don't need to be sharing more words. I promise I am not drunk. I am just tired. So
What's the difference?
These are difference.
But if you are looking for another shorter, maybe it depends on how unhinged it's going to be. It'll depend on how I'm feeling next Friday. We're going to be back again next Friday at noon Pacific, 3:00 Eastern for our final watch party, our final video releases next week. It's Liftoff and Learn, Verify and Lookup. It's going to be an amazing stream. We're going to kind of follow this format. Similarly, we might break it up a little bit more, but we're going to try this. We did a different format for our first two, and we're going to try this again. But if you are interested in that, come and check it out. Lots of information around all of these if you head over to our YouTube or all of the other places that we are. But definitely keep an ear, eye, nose, and tongue. Nope, not all of the things. Eyes, just eyes. Keep your eyes out for more information on our upcoming Super Watch Party. Don't lick your computer. It's not a good idea.
Sweet Andrew, I got a question. Are we outroing with the level up promo?
We are outroing.
And the Liftoff? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to tee that up on our way out so that it's not coming in blind?
So the wonderful Chef Brent made a recommendation that we should do some promo pieces for some of the content we're doing. And I wanted to give some resources to the awesome Bianca and Sarah for some of the things they're doing as part of our Level Up Build-a-thon Forge series that we're doing. So I recorded a little sort of like 60-second bit for our upcoming Level Up that's happening on March the 20th. So DJ Brent, throw to the trailer.
Yeah, and bye everyone. We'll see you soon. Things coming up, A/B testing on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll see
those folks. This way. Those folks.
No, I think you're going the wrong way.
You are.
Remember, you're mirrored on that.
Bye,
Go the other
everybody.
way.
It doesn't matter. They'll be here on Tuesday. Watch them. Don't watch me. I'm on Thursday. Bye.
Online retailers, travel sites, heck, even banks. No matter where you turn online today, you're bound to find Gen AI-enabled chatbots ready to assist you. And yet, when you dial the 1-800 number for that same e-commerce site, so often you're met with a much more traditional, please press 1, 2, or 3. Enter Conversation Relay, the latest Twilio tool that infuses your voice channels with the power of large language models. Hi, I'm Andrew, and I hope you'll join me and my good friend Kaylin on Thursday, March the 20th for Level Up, Unboxing Smarter AI Assistants with Conversation Relay. In this webinar, we'll demonstrate how to get started with Conversation Relay, and we'll set the stage for how you can start to integrate your favorite LLM into the Twilio Voice ecosystem. Discover how to begin transforming those clunky, outdated phone interactions into sleek, seamless experiences, from automated product inquiries to streamlined order tracking, and revolutionize how your business communicates with customers. Hope to see you there.
Every day, billions of people connect through calls, texts, and emails. And behind each conversation is a Twilio API that powers it.
With Twilio's APIs, we can build powerful communication tools with just a few lines of code.
But the power to send messages at scale comes with great responsibility.
In Liftoff Messaging, you'll learn to send messages across SMS and WhatsApp.
With Liftoff Voice, we'll help you build voice applications from simple call centers to full-service contact centers.
Liftoff Email will show you how to create engaging campaigns that land in the inbox.
And in Liftoff User Authentication and Identity, you'll learn how to keep your users' accounts secure.
Each Liftoff video gives you production-ready code examples and real-world applications. Welcome to Twilio Liftoff.